Welcome back to Collectability. Today we are going to discuss Patek Philippe limited editions. Buy now with no waiting list. Before we get started, I want to thank you for listening. And I have a personal favor to ask. Please push the subscribe button on the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. This will ensure the future of this channel and help us help you discover the world of collectability. So if you love Patek Philippe content, push that button now and comment below after you watch this video. At Collectability, we love limited editions, and you won't see the Nautilus 5711 1A from Tiffany on our site. By the way, that $50,000 USD retail watch from 3 years ago is still selling for 7 figures on the secondary market. Rather, you're going to find on Collectability more obscure pieces, many with strong historical ties, which have great stories to tell. So please take a look at the articles on Collectability, including the series of articles written by the one and only Tanya Edwards about Patek Philippe limited editions. She has a 4-part series that's not to be missed. Today in this video, we're going to focus on 6 Patek Philippe limited editions that we presently have in stock for sale. And I was thinking the other day that there are basically 5 different kinds of Patek Philippe limited editions. There are retailer anniversaries like the Tiffany, the Wempe, the Gübelin. Then there are the Patek Philippe anniversaries like the 150th or the 175th. And then there are also like family anniversaries like from the Ellipse, the 5738 in Rose, for example, that came out in 2018 to celebrate 50 years of the Ellipse. There's also important dates and new openings, such as the reopening of the Patek Philippe boutique in Geneva, the celebrated 5565A, or even the Millennium watches, the Millennium limited edition watches, such as the 5100. And then the 5th and final kind of limited editions are special pieces made for sports teams, which are fun to come across. The 5035 Rose comes to mind to celebrate the anniversary of AC Milan. And this is a football or soccer team out of Italy. And it's quite fun to imagine they had their own limited edition made. But here in front of me, we have 6 limited editions available now, and I thought it'd be fun to take a closer look at each of these pieces and some of the kit that's included with the sale of each watch. First, the reference 3960J from 1989. A total of 2,000 of these were made in 1989 to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Patek Philippe. There were 150 made in white gold. There were 50 pieces only made in platinum. And this is like an entry-level limited edition that's, I think, really well priced and a fun piece to wear, especially with that officer-style case. Now, moving on to 1997. This is when the 5500 was released. There were 1,100 made in yellow gold. There were only 500 made in rose gold with a silver dial, like you see here. And there were 250 made in white gold and only 150 in platinum. Now, this is based on a classic Eiffel Tower reference from the 50s and still attractively priced. This limited edition from 1997 is still a coveted watch that you could buy today, but not for relatively huge money. Now, moving on, in 1997, there was a really obscure limited edition made to celebrate the Singaporean retailer Cortina. It was their 25th anniversary as a company, and to show you one of these reference 5057s is a true treat. I've never had one before. Look at this watch. So this particular piece was made in 100 examples, and it's a time capsule with full kit from that time period. It's fun to note that in 1997, this was the watch the whole world was talking about, because it was just when the internet was taking off and people were more aware of limited editions than they were before. It's interesting that Patek Philippe made another 50th anniversary limited edition in 2022 for Cortina, which was identical to this, but in white gold with a gray dial. So it's important to note this is one of the first limited editions that has a complication, the moon phase power reserve. The hobnail bezel with the 4 layers of hobnail is quite special with this reference, and the price is just as appealing as the aesthetic. Moving on to the year 2000, to celebrate the turn of the millennium, Patek Philippe commemorated in a big way the development of the reference 5100. Like the reference 5500 from 1997, it was inspired by a vintage watch. This 5100 case was inspired by the Manta Ray reference 2554 from the 1950s. And it's fun to see the case back of this watch. You can see how it says Patek Philippe, year 2000. So it really just puts that limited edition out there for the world to see. Now, the production numbers of the 5100 are quite interesting. There were 1,500 examples in yellow gold, such as we see here. There were 750 in pink, 450 in white, and only 300 in platinum with the black dial. Today, it represents a very wearable, nicely sized watch with a useful complication where you wind it once and you're good to go for 10 days. Now in 2000, there was another very special set that was released that very few people know about to celebrate the turn of the millennium, and that is the Reference 5026 box set. And here I am so happy to present to the world, for the first time from Collectability, a Reference 5026 complete set. So let's take a look inside the box. And the original packaging is just brilliant. So here we go. You can see all four 5026s right here. This is the ultimate Millennium box set. Each of these 5026 automatics, the 240 caliber, have special dials. And each of these watches has its original certificate of origin and is preserved in mint condition. These were only sold from 1999 to the early 2000s. And it's believed, but not confirmed, it's believed that only 130 sets were ever sold. So here's your chance to have this time capsule from the past. And maybe the next owner will celebrate the turn of the next millennium with this Millennium 2000 set. Next, I have a piece from the New York exhibition in 2017. I haven't had one of these before, and it's just so much fun to put one on the wrist and to look at it with my own eyes. And that's the Reference 5522 in steel. This was one of the most coveted pieces of the 2017 Art of Watchmaking exhibition. This is when the horological world came together here in the United States to celebrate all things Patek Philippe, to look at museum pieces and new offerings. And it's something that we in the area look back very fondly at. Also, collectors jockeyed for position, as you can imagine, to receive an allocation from one of the limited edition watches released to celebrate this important event. The Reference 5522A was one of the star releases of the show, and only 600 examples of this limited edition became available. It was and remains very popular for its attractive aesthetic, and it has this amazing blued lacquered dial and these lume numbers that make it very easy to read. Some interesting factoids about this is that the hour and the minute hands were made in blued steel, and the seconds hand is actually made from aluminum with this lume coating. Absolutely beautiful watch to wear, and I'm excited to see who the next owner of this watch will be soon. So please comment below on what you think your dream anniversary watch is for Patek Philippe. And please DM if you're interested in any of these current offerings. Thank you so much for listening. Please comment below on that favorite limited edition of all time and share your ideas on what future limited editions you would like to see from Patek Philippe. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to Collectability on YouTube, Instagram, and also TikTok so that you don't miss any future posts. Thank you again, and enjoy the hunt.